Hi friends, it's Victor Costa, and welcome to Victor Costa Motivation. I hope you're having an outstanding day, and I hope today's podcast makes it even better for you. So today I was lucky enough to be walking past a synagogue on the Upper East Side of New York that had a sign, and the sign read, "Forgiveness is giving up the hopes for a better past." And it had an attribution to Alan A. Lew, L-E-W. And so I've heard this quote before. Forgiveness is giving up the hopes for a better past. I've heard it in more pop culture-y kind of places. Various celebrities have echoed the sentiment. And it was a reminder today, and I believe signs are everywhere, to share this with you. And this has helped me in my life, this quote, and I was hoping that it might help and support you in some way, shape, or form. If you find yourself with a tremendous amount of regret for the past, and if you find yourself in your present moment sort of rehashing things that happened long ago, and I don't mean just yesterday afternoon. I'm talking about things that happened a year or two or 5 or a decade or 20 years ago that you wished had gone differently, that you wish would change or had changed or hadn't gone that way. And you find that you are putting the sense of blame on someone or something. And so that blame could be on, let's say, yourself. That blame could be on a family member. It could be on an assailant. It could be on a boss. Whatever the case may be, if you seem to be reliving an experience over and over and over in terms of looking back in the past and just wishing it were different, and you know how much hard drive space that takes up right in your mind. You know how much energy that takes to sort of go back there. And it happens sometimes, to me as well. It happens when we're sort of feeling a little vulnerable, or maybe when you lay your head on the pillow and your thoughts are racing, that kind of thing. But if this is really something that gets you, if it's something that really, really hurts you, you have to think that maybe, just maybe, there's a missing ingredient in there, right? And if this is something that you'd like to get past and you find that, like I said, too much hard drive space in the current moment is being taken up with your history, think about forgiveness. Forgiveness of yourself, forgiving a family member, forgiving an assailant. And this doesn't have to be someone where you do this overt, outstanding thing where you take out a billboard in Times Square and say, "I'm sorry," or "I forgive you," or anything like that at all. This is more of a personal letting go and of an understanding that things couldn't be different as they are now. We cannot change the past. We can only change right now where we are and sort of our sense of it. And so when you look at things with a different perspective, things tend to change and morph a little bit. And your experience of the past could be softened, if you will, and may not take up as much space in your current mind and in your future if you were to potentially think about sprinkling in a little forgiveness. I'm always reminded of Dr. Wayne Dyer's quotes. And Dr. Wayne Dyer said, and you're going to have to forgive me if I'm repeating myself, but I've learned a lot from him, that you can't make yourself sick enough to make anyone else well in this world, right? And you can't make yourself poor enough to help anyone become any richer in this world. And so I kind of feel the same way about this topic as well. I mean, you can't experience enough regret to make your present moment any better and to make your future any better. There's no way if we don't sort of sever this connection. And I don't mean forgetting about things. I mean forgiving things. It's much different, the feeling about things when you forgive Even if you don't forget, you can forgive and you can move on. And it's a very cathartic thing to do for yourself. And like I said, it doesn't have to be a phone call to someone. It doesn't have to be a billboard. It can be just something that you let go of in your own mind, and see how that feels. Just letting yourself off the hook, letting somebody else off the hook can pay tremendous dividends, both in your mental health and your emotional health, and also your physical health too. And when we do that, whether it's we give up, wishing things that were different, we can kind of, pay more attention to the current moment. When we're not focused on the history so much, we can pay more attention to the current moment and move on. And so, like I said, if your past is very poignant, if it's occupying too much of your time, if these are things that have happened decades ago, you may have to try a little forgiveness. It may be the missing ingredient in your well-being, in your success, in where you're headed, in just your overall enjoyment of your own time in your life. So think about that. Think about it. It could just be a silent letting go, if you will. Letting someone off the hook or letting yourself off the hook. Either way, it's going to work out. Think about that. Think about that. It's helped me quite a bit. Sometimes just a silent, I forgive you. You're a person. People make mistakes. Sometimes people make some pretty bad mistakes, and that takes a lot more energy and a lot more time to think about. But if you're able to do that, you will feel a weight lifted off of you like you've never felt before. So think about that. Forgiveness is giving up the hopes for a better past. I wish you all the best in good health. Victor Costa signing off. Good night.